Hey, what's up? This is Chris from The Longest Way. It's my third day in Taiwan. First day I arrived at night. Walked around a little bit. Got a bottle of some strange white wine stuff. Just because in Iran alcohol is illegal, so I really wanted just something alcoholic. Yesterday I had a bunch of interviews and I had a book presentation thingy where like some people showed up in a bookstore and we talked, and it was like a podium thing. It was nice. And today I had a lunch thing with a few readers, and I have some regrets. I was like, I don't know, 10 people, 12 people or something. And we really didn't get to talk that much about their experiences, which is really regrettable. One of the guys, Taiwanese dude, had walked the Camino in Spain, and I would like to hear more about that. Then there was a girl that had done 2 years of solo traveling in Southeast Asia. Yeah, but I don't know. I just got into like this talking frenzy. So I was just talking and talking and talking. I was talking about politics a lot, which is really, sometimes it's nice and it's important and necessary, but I don't know. I'm going to try to avoid that next time. Taiwan for me is fascinating. We're just looking at Taiwan right now, and it doesn't look really that different from China. Let's see here. When we look outside, looks like China. Could be China. Could be China. All of this doesn't look that different. And yet, I don't know. I expected it to be different from China in a way. I don't know why exactly. I think because they're a democracy here, and they got the rule of law, and they got freedom of speech, and all these nice things that China don't have. So I figured it would. I don't know. Maybe it would show. Maybe you'd look at it and look different. But nope. It just kind of looks the same. The air is really thick. It's like southern air. It's close to the ocean. It's very moist. It's humid, and there's always like a smell of food in the air, just like in South China, so that's nice. And the people speak Chinese with a little dialect, but really it's the same. A lot of just the way that the town looks, the street looks, just looks very similar, at least to me, to China, to southern China, not to the north. So it felt strangely familiar. But then I'm walking down the street, and I look at all these people and I'm thinking, you're citizens. You're actual citizens. Like, you're not afraid of your government. You got a passport, you got an ID, you got human rights, you got citizens' rights. You're like full citizens, and that's awesome. And it doesn't really show. A citizen doesn't walk around differently than, I don't know, a non-citizen. What are they called in China? They're called inhabitants, 居民, inhabitants on their ID. It doesn't say 公民. At least it didn't when I was there. It doesn't say citizen, because I know they're not. They got voting rights, freedom of speech, all these nice things. If a cop here, could happen, treats you in the wrong way, you go to a superior. If that doesn't work, you go to the courts, media. You're gonna, find a way to protect your rights, but not in China. If anybody messes with you, it's over. Unless you got better connections, then he's fucked. But the whole thing is just a mess. But anyway, the camera's fucking heavy. I'm here, and and it's fascinating. What, I don't know. Many Taiwanese, I guess they don't want to hear it. But to me, it looks like just a better China. It looks like what China could be. And when I talk to them, they're like, no. We're not Chinese. Because they're already at a point where They don't want to be associated, a lot of them. But what I see is here, I don't know, it's not about who has the tallest buildings and the biggest cars and, I don't know, the best roads and the best trains and all that. It's about, here you have this feeling of security, and you have this feeling of the society as a whole taking security seriously, caring. Like, traffic isn't terrible here. It's okay. All these people on their little motorbikes, on their scooters, they're all wearing helmets, all of them. So they made a law, and it was really difficult because people don't like wearing helmets, especially in summer when it's warm. But then they're like, dude, don't crash your skull, you know, don't split it open. It's not worth it. Wear a helmet. So they're wearing helmets. So that means, like, okay, so security is important. And then you go into a train station and there's really no security checks. There might be some police, I didn't see any, but there's no like place where you go through a scanner or whatever, like in China, you know. In China, they don't care about your skull. You can ride your motorbike like whatever way you want, and you can drive your car, and then nobody really cares. And it's just like social Darwinism, rule of the whoever is stronger. But in the public sphere, like in train stations or whatever, there's going to be so much police. There's going to be so much just checking and scans and ID checks and making you feel like there's this imminent threat. Like there's always a threat. And this is so tiring, and it gives you this feeling of just total insecurity. And it's not like that here. And I really appreciate that. It's really nice. There's no political slogans everywhere. You know? When we got to the train station, there's like these old ladies with like these banners. And on the banners it says Taiwan should be independent, and they're singing songs, but it's kind of like that's their thing, I guess. But it's not imposed on you by the government. It's just people that want to influence society from their own point of view. You know, like in any liberal democracy. But in China, everything is just plastered with the Chinese dream, where nobody really knows if that's even a thing, like a collective dream. Actually, probably just a dream of Xi Jinping or his ruling buddies. Everything is plastered with slogans about socialism with Chinese characteristics, words that don't mean anything. Ruled by law, democracy, I don't know, civilization. Just these words plastered everywhere that you know are meaningless and just kind of there. And lots of military stuff, lots of, I don't know, look at our new plane, rocket, whatever. And there's just this feeling of pressure and of insecurity. And I'm thinking, dudes, you're China, come on. You're like, you've lived through shit in your history. It's a long history. You know, empires, they come together, they fall apart. Dynasties rule. Sometimes you got a foreign dynasty, like the Tang dynasty was half foreign. And it turned out to be the most successful dynasty of all in the eyes of a lot of Chinese people. Then you got the Mongol invasion, and they're still there after. You got the Manchurian dynasty for like 300 years, and they're still there after it. And now they're making money, building up the country, but they're living under this pressure, and they're not citizens. And it's just sad. And I'm looking at this here, and I'm thinking, wow. These people are not afraid. You know, they got their little Taiwan thing going on here. They're like, okay, so, you know, riding on a scooter and getting your skull split open, that's bad. Let's like make a law and force people to wear stupid helmets. And it looks ridiculous and it's too hot, but it's gonna, you know, keep you alive maybe. So okay, they do that because they care. But they're not gonna I don't know, just bombard you with political slogans. They're not going to bombard you with police and military stuff and with nationalism and with fear, and they're not going to just check on you everywhere, do ID checks, check your phone, check your social media. They're not going to do that. And it's just a very, feels like a very safe place and a very civilized and nice place. And I'm looking at it again. The the Taiwanese probably don't like it, but I'm thinking, wow, this is the better China. That down there is what it should be like. God fucking damn it. Poor China. Alright. Well, gotta stay optimistic. Maybe China's gonna, make the transition to something like this. I wish it for them and for the rest of the world. And I'm happy to be here. I'm gonna go to another book thing now, like another salon. And I'll talk to you later. See, now I've been talking about like politics for forever again. Sorry. Peace. Have a good day. Do debts and dues. I need more alcohol. Peace.